Hello, and welcome back to another brand new review where I am now going to be reviewing the third Pokemon movie to have come out. Title of the Unknown or Into the Unknown. One of the two, I can't remember. I just know it as Pokemon the Movie 3. So, this is a movie that I have not watched in the longest times. Um, like with the first and second Pokemon movie, it's not one that I tend to return to the most. And to be quite honest, it's after this rewatch, it's okay. Definitely better than Pokemon the movie 2000, where I enjoyed this movie a tad bit more than I did when I rewatched that one. And yeah, as a bog standard hour and 13 or hour and 17-minute long movie in the Pokemon universe, it's okay. It has a decent enough plot where essentially it's dealing with not only the legendary Pokemon Entei, but it's also dealing with the Pokemon Unknown, which are Pokemon that are alphabets, or letters of the alphabet, including question mark and exclamation mark. Um, and they're still not in universe and in the Pokemon anime universe and the Pokemon game universe. There's still not a lot known about the unknown, and in this movie, they are treated somewhat like a legendary Pokemon, but they're really not. Kind of like Rotom from Generation 4. But yeah, so essentially there's this professor voiced by Dan Green, who you might recognize if you're a fan of the Yu-Gi-Oh series, who plays both Yugi and Atem. He voices in this as both the professor and Entei. Um, and so the professor is researching the unknown, and when he finds a mysterious box with a bunch of unknown letters on it, he's immediately teleported into the unknown universe where they all reside. And yeah, that box plus his one of his colleagues returns to his daughter Molly, who's around 5 years old, and yeah, so she has no mother now. She also it's said in the movie that she also disappeared a few years ago, and then and now her father has disappeared, and so she's messing around with the unknown pieces, and this brings them into existence into our universe, and then also brings Entei or a copy of Entei because the unknown are psychic Pokemon and they've gone into, they're using her imagination and her infatuation with this book about the unknown that also mentions Entei, and so it makes this big crystal palace for them as well as starts to engross on the town that they're living in, Johto. And that is the beginning of the movie. Now we meet up with our protagonist, Ash Ketchum, as well as Misty and Brock. Brock's back for this one. And this takes place just before the Johto League. Um, and around before the Johto League. And so Ash is going to this place. He sees what's happening. He meets up with another trainer who is just a one-off for this. um, she kind of looks like the female protagonist that they introduced in the Pokemon Crystal game, which was the first Pokemon game to allow you to pick a girl. Because the Gen 1 and Gold and Silver, you could only pick a male to play as. So yeah, she kind of looks like that. They have a battle. It's tooth and nail, but Ash obviously wins, because he's the main protagonist. And so it turns out Professor Oak and his mother has some connection with the guy that went missing, as well as Molly, the little child. And so they decide to go to Johto, to this place. And it's as they're catching up that Molly's like, I want a mother, whilst watching the news reports of Delia, Ash's mom. And so Entei goes out and kidnaps her, uses some psychic ability to capture her and brings her back to this palace. And then eventually Ash and Co go to um, save Ash's mother. And Team Rocket's there. They don't really do much in this movie. You know, they spot the gang. They have a few lines of dialogue. They try to go into the palace themselves. Entei blasts them out of the sky. And then they slowly crawl up to the top as well. And they do help a bit. There is even a fourth wall break that I think is only an English dub thing where Meowth is saying, I hope we get more to do in the next movie, which is Pokemon the Movie Forever, which, if memory serves correct, they somewhat do and somewhat don't. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. Anyway, so as the gang are making their way up the tower, Molly essentially dreams herself up to be an adult to battle the gang, and so she uses the power of Unknown to create Pokemon. So she battles with Brock to start off with, and she easily dispatches of him. And then she fights Misty, and we don't get to see the rest of that fight. We know that Molly then de-ages herself and to around 10 years old, so she's grown about 5 years. And so she takes out Misty's Goldeen without any issues, but then she starts to have issues with her Staryu. Ash makes it to the top. That's when everything kicks off. Entei doesn't want, Delia to leave because that's what Molly wants. And whatever Molly wants, he'll try and do everything in his power to make sure she gets what she wants. They all have this big fight. Ash gets knocked out of the tower, and he's essentially falling to his death. But he gets saved at the last minute by his Charizard. Because Charizard watched the news coverage of this, and obviously he wanted to go help Ash, and that's what he did. And then the Charizard and Entei have this big clash, big battle. It's a nice battle, it's really well executed. And then of course in the end, Ash loses. Ash and Charizard lose, and then Molly puts a stop to it. And then that's when the Unknown get even more stronger with their psychic abilities, and it takes Entei sacrificing himself. I'm going to put that in air quotes, to really save the day. And the movie ends with Molly's father being sent back out from the Unknown World, and that's the movie. Like I said, I enjoyed it more than the Pokemon movie 2000, but comparing it to the first Pokemon movie, which is still a masterpiece of a movie, it doesn't hold a candle like, but it's still in of itself a decent Pokemon movie. That I'm glad that I actually rewatched again, because like I said, it's been a number of years since I've rewatched the OG3 Pokemon movies. But yeah, that's gonna wrap this review up. I won't be reviewing any more Pokemon movies moving forward. The headache of doing over 20 plus Pokemon movies is just over the next 20 months. Not something that I kind of want to do. I just wanted to do the original 3 anyway. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you all next Monday for another brand new video.